We're back in the Outliers Writing University studios here at Left Coast Crime in Denver, Colorado. This is a lot like a family reunion. I love coming to Left Coast Crime because it seems like that's where most of my best friends hang out. And one of them is our guest right now, one of the greatest crime fiction award-winning authors I know. Harry Hunsicker is with us, a Dallas native with deep Texas roots. Harry has carved out a thriller career writing gritty, pulse-pounding mysteries and crime novels. His latest book, The Life and Death of Rose Doucette, is another entry in the catalog, one that promises suspense, intrigue, and unforgettable characters. No pressure at all, Harry. Welcome.
I thought this was the Lost and Found. I didn't know we're talking about me.
What have you lost?
What about my innocence? I can't see it. Okay, no. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. Just to correct the record, I am not an award-winning author. I'm an award-nominated author.
That's as good as a win.
That is, in my world, it is as good as a win. But I don't want anybody out there thinking I have won anything. I'm nominated. And I will take those.
Well, you certainly have won this room's admiration.
I have. Yeah, thank you. They're all, I hope the mosh pit doesn't get out of control like last time.
Give us a glimpse into the story of the life and death of Rose Doucette.
So the life and death of Rose Doucette is about a private detective forced to partner with the man who broke up his marriage. And the reason they are in that situation is that someone has killed the woman they both love, Rose Doucette. Spoiler, she dies. Someone has killed her, and the two men realize that whoever killed her is after both of them because she might have told them something. And so they understand that they can't solve the case alone, and they're stronger together. So they have to put aside their sizable differences and come and work together.
What was the inspiration for the book?
So I was looking for an emotional hook for this new character, Dylan Fisher, private detective. And I wanted something that would really resonate with him. And I came up with this idea. And one of the sort of the influences was L.A. Confidential. And I don't know if you'll remember from that movie and from the book, was a part of it where there's three police officers investigating a crime. And they're coming at it from different angles. Three corrupt police officers investigate a crime, and they're coming at it from different angles. And they realize pretty soon that they cannot they're weaker apart than they are together. So they have to put aside their differences and come together to solve the crime. So that I thought I'd take that and twist that a little bit, make it more personal.
You started your career in commercial real estate appraisal.
I did. We even talked about that at my panel this morning. Yeah.
What made you finally decide to write?
Well, being a real estate appraiser is for people who find accounting a little too exciting. So it's a great job, very steady, but it's not very fulfilling. And so I have always been a huge reader, and from a very early age knew I wanted to write. And so I kind of dabbled at thinking about writing. I had a bunch of writing books and read Writer's Digest and things like that. And then one day I just realized that it was time to get on it because I got to a certain age. And, I'm sure you get to a certain age when you realize the days ahead of you are dwindling. And I realized if I wanted to be a writer, I needed to get on it. So one thing led to another, and here I am.
Are you glad you did it?
Oh, yeah, totally. It's what I was meant to do. Like, as people say, I don't know what else I would be doing. It's what I'm good at.
How long did it take you to write the first one, Still River?
So it took, tried to write the great American novel before Still River, and I wrote 100 pages in about 6 months, and it was 6 months of agony, and I wrote about this character named Bob, and he was the most boring individual that ever lived, and he would eat a sandwich and ruminate about what that meant about his life, and then he might drive across town and drink some coffee and scratch his chin and think more about what his life was like. And so nothing happened. And I did what anybody would do. I killed Bob and buried him in a desk drawer. And then I had, and this is an interesting thing, and anybody who's listening, I would urge you to kind of think about this, what I'm getting ready to say. I had this epiphany, and I realized that I looked at my bookshelves, and I realized that I did not read what could be termed as great American novels. I read mysteries and thrillers and detective novels and spy novels and spy thrillers and things like that. And so I thought, well, maybe you ought to write something in that genre, a genre book, and not just the Great American Novel, because you don't read that. So this little light bulb went on, and I thought, okay, I'm going to do that. So I knew, for some weird reason, I wanted to write a book I wanted to set the book in Dallas, where I'm from, and I wanted to write a book with a guy's name tied to the area. And I don't know why I had that in my mind, but I did. So for a while, I toyed with writing a book about a hitman named Tom Landry. But I thought, well, they're going to run me out of town if I do that. So, and then I thought about doing some play on J.R. Ewing, and that wasn't quite the Dallas I wanted to do. So I thought, well, what else is Dallas known for? And I settled on, well, of course, the Kennedy assassination. So I wrote a novel about a private detective named Lee Henry Oswald. Not Lee Harvey, but Lee Henry Oswald. And so that's kind of his cross to bear.
Close enough to be
a problem, right? Especially in Dallas.
Why is Dallas such a prominent character for you?
So I grew up there, and it's a very large Dallas and Fort Worth and the surrounding area. It's huge population, hugely diverse, different parts of town, different types of people, different communities, different feelings in different neighborhoods. And when I was a real estate appraiser, a lot of that is driving around and looking at these places. And I thought, well, gosh, I never knew these places existed, so I want to put them in my book. And that informed the writing of the first novel.
And you don't just write novels, Harry Hunsicker. You also write screenplays. And in preparation for this interview, I watched one.
Did you watch?
I did.
I sent that to you. Yeah. So
that was terrific.
I write screenplays kind of as a way to stretch a different muscle between novels. And I wrote a short screenplay that got picked up and produced a couple years ago and went on the festival circuit, and it won best screenwriter at a small festival in Idaho. But it's a crime thing. It's about a hitman with irritable bowel syndrome. And the title, of course, is Shit Squad. Only the S is in parentheses. So Shit Squad. And that's my film. Yes. I wrote it. I didn't direct it or produce. I just wrote.
Well,
And you did watch it? Did you like it?
I loved it.
Right.
I thought it was terrific. And I was fascinated by how well you shifted from the requirements for novel writing to the requirements for screenwriting.
Yeah, it's a great thing to do. Writing a novel is kind of like running a marathon, and then writing a screenplay is kind of like almost a cool down period or a way to stretch those different muscles before I like a little time off, but I like to keep something going, the fingers going a little bit. And so the screenplay stuff is a good way to do that, as are short stories. But screenplays are so awesome because the inordinate amount of energy you spend writing a novel doing speech attribution, like he said, she said, he whispered, she whispered, or you have an action kind of a thing. He opened the door. What are you doing in there? That kind of thing. You don't have to do that with the screenplay. It's the name of the character, and then below that's the dialogue. And that's such a great feeling. You don't have to come up with speech tags.
Well, you also give up
way inside baseball.
No, that's exactly who I'm to be on this inside baseball. But you also give up some of your freedom because you turn the script over, and then it's not you.
You totally turn it over, and they cut out a lot in Shit Squad. Cut out a lot of the jokes, but and I cussed a lot when that happened. But then I watched it, and I thought, it does flow better, and it's better without all those myriad jokes.
So, who would you cast for the characters if the life and death of Rose Doucette was adapted?
Whoever could get it made. So I'm realist. I'm very realistic about that. I don't really think in terms of who would look good, I just whoever we could get it made. It's
been a great conversation. Harry Hunsicker has been our guest here in the Outliers Writing University studios here at Left Coast Crime. What's the website?
HarryHunsicker.com. That is HarryHunsicker.com.
That's the great thing about having a YouTube.
It is. Go sign up.
The.com.
Go sign up for my newsletter. That way you get to experience this on a monthly basis at this wackiness. Yeah.
Thanks so much. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.